Today, we're diving into something called cognitive sovereignty. It's a really important new idea, a new capability for navigating the world we live in right now. The big question is, how can you truly be in control of your own thoughts when it feels like everything is designed to influence you? And you know this feeling, right? Every single time you scroll, every time you search, you're just hit with this fire hose of information. But here's the thing, it's not just random noise. A lot of it is specifically engineered to be persuasive, to carefully shape what you see, and ultimately, what you end up believing. Exactly, because none of this is happening by accident. There's a hidden battle going on all around us, and the grand prize? Well, it's our attention, and even more importantly, our decisions. And that's what we mean when we say your mind is the new frontline. Seriously. Every time you go online, you are literally stepping onto a very sophisticated battlefield, where your own perception is the territory everyone is fighting over. You have to understand this one crucial point. The information world we all live in now, it is not neutral. Not at all. It's built to capture your attention, which has become an incredibly valuable currency, and to steer your decisions. I mean, just think about social media algorithms that decide what's trending, or news sites that choose which story you see first. They're all competing for that prize. And this battle, it isn't some abstract thing. It's happening through three very specific forces that are constantly, relentlessly putting your mind and your ability to think clearly under a whole lot of pressure. First off, influence isn't just a clever TV ad anymore. Oh no, it is automated and it is constant. Today's algorithms don't just show you things you might like, they predict your emotional state to steer your behavior with, honestly, the precision of a heat-seeking missile. Second, there's just too much stuff. The amount of information out there is exploding, growing exponentially. But our brains, our ability to process it all, that's staying painfully linear. This mismatch creates a constant state of cognitive overload, and it leaves us feeling exhausted and struggling to make even simple choices. And the third force? Well, the traditional places we used to go for reliable information, established media, scientific institutions, that trust is crumbling right before our eyes. And as that trust erodes, it leaves us vulnerable. We're left in this fragmented landscape where it's incredibly easy for competing stories to manipulate us. This chart right here just illustrates the problem so perfectly. See that huge, massive gap between our slow, linear comprehension and the exponential explosion of information? That is the danger zone. That's the space where confusion and misinformation just thrive. It really highlights the core challenge we're all up against. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. There is a way to navigate all this chaos. It just requires building a new kind of capability, one that's absolutely essential for this era: cognitive intelligence, or CI for short. So, how do we regain control? We develop our cognitive intelligence. It's basically your ability to cut through all that noise, to hold on to your own clear, independent way of thinking, even when the world around you is literally designed to cloud your judgment. You can think of it like this. For a long time, we focused on IQ, raw brain power, and EQ, which is your emotional awareness. Well, CI is the crucial third piece of the puzzle. It's your perceptual discernment. In other words, it's like having a finely tuned BS detector for the modern world. Building up your CI gives you a huge competitive advantage. It lets you separate this signal from all the noise, and it helps you turn total chaos into a coherent plan. For instance, imagine a sudden market crash. Instead of panicking over the headlines, a professional with high CI pauses, analyzes the real data, and makes a smart, strategic move while everyone else is just reacting. That is the difference. All right, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually build this skill? How do you start reclaiming your own perception? Well, it all starts with training what you might call your internal radar. Step one is to recognize the frame, to understand that every single message you see has been packaged to lead you to a certain conclusion. Step two is to look for omissions by always asking, okay, what am I not being told here? And third, you have to spot your own blind spots. You've got to know your own biases, because those are the open doors that manipulators absolutely love to use. When you get good at these steps, you're not just building a toolkit, you're building a kind of cognitive fortress. You get cognitive independence because you question narratives instead of just accepting them. You get strategic awareness by filtering out the noise to focus on what actually matters.
And you get digital literacy by seeing the mechanics of persuasion at work. And all of that leads to personal sovereignty. You become grounded in your own thinking, and you're not so easily pushed around.
And here's the thing, this isn't just a personal skill. For anyone in a leadership role, CI is basically a new superpower. In this day and age, clarity isn't some soft skill. It is a core strategic asset. A leader who's just reactive, one without CI, they just add to the noise. They contribute to confusion and uncertainty in their organization. But a clarity-driven leader, someone with high CI, they become a stabilizing force. They can guide their teams through the chaos with a focused, resilient strategy. And don't for a second think this is some far-off, futuristic concept. We are right now, today, entering an era where cognitive resilience is what will define success, for people and for organizations. So we want to leave you with this one final question to think about. The world is fundamentally changing, restructuring itself around information and influence. The choice really is yours. Are you going to be a passive consumer of that information or an active architect of your own understanding?